Hey everyone, it's Amy Fox with Work in Progress Texas and creator of Bloom by Amy. And I have been recapping my calorie deficit for the last about 6+ weeks or so. And I did miss last week, and I'll get you caught up there. But my goal is to continue to document this journey so you actually have a tangible experience of what a fat loss phase looks like. I truly have had the normal ebbs and flows of life. And I didn't have an update. I kind of missed it time-wise to update y'all last week. But where we left off in this conversation was I had basically taken a week off from my calorie deficit to fuel around my period. And I found that that gave me energy and kind of almost like refueling me to keep going, because I had been in the calorie deficit for about 5 weeks, aiming for about 5 weeks or so, because I started at the beginning of March. And that refueling time frame, the only thing I have as an update is I kind of regret not weighing myself during that. But I knew mentally that I couldn't weigh myself during that because I knew that there was going to be some water weight fluctuations. What's cool though is right when I got back into the deficit, I settled right back down. So where I started about this deficit was where I started with my weight was about between 186 to 188 pounds as a 5'9" woman, just to give you some, about range to work off of. And I have kept my weight about to 181 pounds. Sorry, I can't talk, obviously, but I'm kind of settled in at 181 pounds, and I've had some more progress this week, which I'll show you. And so what was cool was that I refueled, and my weight still maintained that fat loss, about that 5 to 6 pound fat loss. And that's what's really, when you are losing weight at a slow and steady rate, that's what happens. You have these ups and downs and fluctuations, but it's still trending downward. And that's what's cool about just kind of taking that break, that I didn't lose any progress on the fat loss goal. Also, when it comes to weighing, I like daily weigh-ins for a weekly average because weekly averages are great. I like to use weekly averages for step counts and for calories. But sometimes mentally, we need to figure out what's healthy for us. And I'm very in tune with my clients when it comes to the weigh-ins. Are you able to do daily weigh-in and separate the emotion from it? Or do we need to space them out? So in some situations, women can do a weekly weigh-in, which I usually do on a Wednesday because it's kind of away from the weekends. And then if they really do have some scale trauma or history that's just really poor, we will go down to monthly measurements as a whole, because I do monthly pictures and monthly measurements. So then we would just do monthly weigh-ins. And so the difference with that is you don't get to see all of the fluctuations, which sometimes mentally can be helpful, but you still get to see where the numbers trending, and they're trending down. That's what we want. Of course, there's so much more to the story. And this actually brought up a really good talking point about body dysmorphia, body shape, body composition, and genetics. Because I do show before and after pictures, and I'll show you some examples. My purpose of showing before and after pictures is just kind of giving some social proof that, hey, I know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, when I show my body and when I show my clients' bodies, our bodies are not my business card. Okay. My body is not my business card. My clients' bodies are not my business card or their business card. My business card is that I have coached over 100+ women in this journey, and there's so much more to the story than how your body looks. So I don't use my body as advertising on my social media page. If some people choose to do that, that's great. But just because you have a specific physique doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to coach clients and work with clients in this industry. There are many people who can get on a stage, maybe do a competition or something like that, and feel like they have it figured out. Just like on the flip side of maybe somebody being successful in their business and then they go teach people what they did, and that's supposed to help everybody else, but it doesn't always do that. So it's a matter of being like, my coaching experience is my business card. And so I never want the body, like that's what's hard about even showing your body like this on social media. And I'm pointing this way because I have a monitor over here, but it's because like, there's that hesitation of being like, oh, I'm not at my transformation. Like, would anyone listen to me? And it's like, yes, the results speak for themselves with the clients that I've worked with. The pictures are just a part of the story, but to have this journey, to be on this journey with me, I'm willing to share those with you, as vulnerable as it is. But I just wanted to establish that it isn't my business card, and body dysmorphia is real. We can beat ourselves up physically. And I know what that's like. I know what that's like to look in the mirror and hate what you see, not feel confident when you're being intimate with your husband, like not wanting to wear a bathing suit, covering up, like not wanting to be in a photo or being in a certain position of a photo, cutting yourself, like cropping yourself or whatever in a photo to try to make yourself look better. Because again, the camera is not very nice. In fact, one of the reasons why I have trouble like freely doing B-roll, it's like I'm just not like the angles, you have to get the right angle. Like my hairdresser did my hair and she got this great angle, like I have as my profile pic now on my Facebook page. And I was like, girl, that made me feel good at 42. Like she just got the right angle, but you get the wrong angle and you're like double chin or something like that. And it just like, oh, my nose looks huge or whatever. So I wanted to establish that there are women out there that have amazing genetics and can build muscle. And one thing that I'm noticing, build muscle and show definition. One thing I'm noticing with my body journey, as I showed you guys in the beginning, like all of my, photos basically from age 30 to now, I really I've seen that like I've struggled to put on muscle. And that's what I'm starting to notice too. Is like, there are just some of us that struggle to get muscle on there or to have that definition. Because I have some clients where even when they had, extra pounds to lose, because on average, my clients need to lose about 15 to 30 pounds, some of them just have a more muscular definition. They've got a curvier definition. And some of us just have to work really hard to get that muscle. I'm going to have to be in a building phase for a while once I kind of shed these layers that I'm working on to get that definition. And maybe this is also an indicator that I need to have my hormones checked to see where my testosterone levels are, et cetera, which I do need to get them checked anyways. But sometimes when you're comparing yourself to women online, we have to take into consideration that genetics plays a huge role in that. And I just wanted that reminder. It just kind of was that reminder of when I was refeeding myself, it gave me energy to keep going in this deficit, which is why I'm going to experiment with that. It's why a day off is not a big deal. It's why you have some flexibility, because overall you're staying within that deficit within a time frame in order to hit your goals. So let me give you some updated pictures. Also I'll reference my Instagram too, just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to body composition. And then I will also show you my food diary this week, because we just crushed it this week. One thing that David and I did differently, what we're trying to do is share the load when it comes to cooking and whatnot. And most of the time he would cook our proteins outside, and we just continue to like default to the same recipes all of the time. And so we're getting really palate fatigue from having the same stuff over and over and over again. So we've kind of made it fun where it's like, hey, you go pick 2 recipes for the week. I'll pick 2 recipes for the week. And then we kind of take ownership of that evening to cook the meal. And I was really proud of us for picking like just really savory, fun, good stuff that was something to experiment with. I made like this cabbage salad that was like, it's like a bunch of veggies. It's not just cabbage. It's like a bunch of veggies and this really great dressing. And man, was it a bear to create, but it was so, it was so flavorful and worth it. I'm happy to give a recipe. I've started to use the Resame app that I accidentally paid for and pulling recipes from social media. And it has made that like actually following through with getting the recipe and trying it. It's been totally worth it. So I like nailed it this week. And what's cool is, let me show you this picture right now. We'll just go to the photo first. As you can see here, the March 21st range that was about 185 pounds-ish. And I finally got a 170 something rating. So obviously it's at the top end. It's still there. I'm still averaging about 180 to 181, but I finally got back into the 170 range, or reading into the 170. And that was just like nailing my, my calorie deficit and like my goals and my macros and everything like that, which was so cool. So here, one of the things that I want to talk about with body composition is sometimes you might actually like your before picture a little bit, because as you start to cut away at certain points of your physique, that's where like it changes, the look of it changes a little bit, So I can see this, like this looks soft and everything like that. And I can see like, oh, the abs are starting to come through. And I can see in the shoulders here, there's more leanness in the shoulders. Now I kind of wish I was wearing the same bra, because I'll show you the back version, but I'm definitely seeing, and then I did lose an inch or so around the thighs. And I think I lost like a half an inch. We can go back to it in a second, in the waist and everything like that. So what was cool too is like seeing these like divots here, some cuts here in the upper back. Like I kind of wish I didn't have this kind of sports bra on, but and I also wish that I was a straight strap. That's driving me crazy. But I can see, like, obviously I try to stand as similar as possible, and I'm just seeing some different changes in that shoulder and arm section. And then I'm seeing a different cut here. Like there's a little bit more, I hope you can see my mouse. I think you can, but a little more cut in the hips. And texture wise, I always like, my skin has never been my favorite. Like I almost like wish I had better skin than necessarily weight. Isn't that funny? But like I can see that there's changes throughout, like just micro changes that are happening. And every single view kind of gives you a different perspective, but I can definitely see some leanness in the stomach. And the areas that I'm definitely hoping to lean out the most, which you can't spot reduce, but of course you can work towards it, is the arms and the abs are obviously the area that I would like to be leaner. And what's cool is I can see some hamstring pop here, which is great. So these are, again, about, 6-ish weeks apart. And I'm really, really happy with those results so far. So giving you just that visual. And then when it comes to, let me go to metrics first before let me just go, I'll share here and we'll go to I like to show the window. Yeah, perfect. So if I go here, I'll go, yes. Okay. Just double checking that I'm sharing what I want to share. So this is obviously how the weight has kind of been fluctuating and going up and down, and just holding nice and steady from that April timeframe. If I go, let me just do like the last like 2 months or so. That's kind of like, this is where it like started, which that 186 range. And then I had gotten that 179, woohoo. And then back to 180 this morning. So that's all good. It's just part of it, right? Like you just see this like small little decreases, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then chest wise, I think I went down a little bit in the chest, which is what I had noticed. So yeah, there was about a half an inch lower there. With the waist, excuse me. Oh, come on. Waist, I've been holding strong. Like I'm trying to also think if back in 2023, I mean, I was definitely leaner in 2023. So this is probably showing accurately where I'm at currently. And the waist is kind of holding strong right now. The hip is holding strong. Like there's a little bit, kind of keeping it the same. That's okay. The thigh though, let's see, left thigh was, this is where this did go down a little bit. So I went down an inch. I was measuring my thighs incorrectly in the beginning, and the right thigh was about the same. Yes, there was an inch loss too. So they're different sizes, but they've both gone down an inch, which is great. And then the arms, which is usually last, like literally last, like I haven't really changed there necessarily. So that it is what it is. And then when it comes to like body composition, like I show these pictures because again, it's just kind of like, and maybe I'll change this, maybe I will remove these. But what's cool is when you see people and they're certain, like this is my one example where I'm just like, you could tell in her before picture that there was muscle there. And it's literally the more that we've shed away, like we even have an updated picture from here where she is just looking fantastic, like keeping her curves and just shredded. But you can see body composition. She carries muscle really, really easily. And then we've got this gal where she's got like dominantly legs and arms are leaner, and the midsection is what kind of gets it first. That's how it's just the type of body. Like I might carry it more in my hips and my thighs, for example. Everyone's body composition is just a little bit different. And then there's some of us that just have these little tiny micro changes and it doesn't show, or it's not as visible. And we also have to determine too, how long have we been consistent doing all of this stuff too, because that's the other thing is now I've got an updated picture for her and she's been at this, basically we started working together in 2023, really focusing on nutrition first. And then we worked our way to her consistently with exercise. And her exercise is what's gotten her super, super lean after she nailed down her nutrition. And it's just it's so cool to see that evolution. So when we go into my macros for the week, obviously this is going to need to be updated for Sunday because the averages are not going to be 100% accurate until like the Sunday is in there, but was just nailing the week. Like I had eggs and cheddar and raspberries for breakfast. I had a pear and ground beef sirloin with wrapped in a tortilla. I had chicken breast. This was the cabbage salad. This was kind of all in estimation to a point because I couldn't like when you're doing a bunch of veggies, it's like they're gonna be volume food. So it's not like you necessarily have to track every single solitary piece of vegetable that you had. For thank goodness they're just low calorie. But I try to put something in there for fiber totals as well. And then I had the probiotic granola with the key lime yogurt. So good. It tastes like almost like key lime pie kind of thing. And my pre-workout was an English muffin, some butter. And then post-workout was the Isopure, which is a great thing. And then the snack was, I always have half and half in there as my snack because I will always have a daily coffee. And then of course my chocolate coconut bars. The next day that I just nailed was similar breakfast. So I don't really change too much on the breakfast, but I had that ground turkey and eggs and cheddar. I'm telling you, that was so satiating. It was 398 calories, 38 grams of protein with the amounts that I chose. Like it was awesome. It was so satiating to a point where I really didn't even like, I almost didn't need lunch. Like that's how satiating it was. So when we talk about volume foods, like that kind of stuff is like just healthy fats and a bunch of protein because it was like 27 grams of protein, barely any carbs. And then for lunchtime, I had just yogurt. I basically took Fage yogurt, the Greek yogurt, the plain yogurt, and I mixed it with the bottom black cherry, Too Good brand. And it's just so good. It sweetens it up perfectly. I don't have to add anything else to it. If I want to really, and you might see it on here too, I add protein powder to beef it up and make it even more high protein. And then for dinner, we had pork chop, baked potatoes or mashed potatoes, however, maybe he did fries. I can't remember if he did like a air fryer fry. I think he did air fried. Yeah. And then I had my coconut bar. Then the pre-workout was the same, a blueberry muffin with some butter. And then post-workout was milk with protein powder. And then of course my half and half. So I think this helps just to kind of see like, hey, my totals are right around 1600 calories. My protein that day was 183 grams, like just crushed it. I went like way over, which is great. Like you want to be high protein. If you want a successful calorie deficit, if you want successful body composition goals, you will up your protein. So basically if you have like, let's say you weigh let's say your goal weight is 150 pounds because you know that that's very realistic for you. That's how many grams of protein you should be eating. For me right now, eating as much as I pretty much weigh is a huge advantage to my body composition goals as well as my calorie deficit. If you weigh more than 200 pounds, you do not need to have 200 plus grams of protein, but I would definitely be getting closer to that 180, 200 range to like just crush it. It's totally possible. It's totally possible. And I can help with that. The next day, which was same thing. I just kind of, first off, that breakfast tasted delicious. So I had no problem because I meal prepped that turkey. So I had all of that made up, ready to go. So all I did was cook the eggs, reheat the turkey in the pan, put the melted cheddar on, and it just was like, fire. I'm going to get it again for next week. And I'll basically have that until I'm tired of it. Just kind of that's how I roll. It's like once I know it's going to hit my macros and it's going to be satiating, I'll do it until I get tired of it. And then strawberries, of course, yay to our farmers. Same thing for lunch with the yogurt combination because again, that was so satiating. And then for dinner we had mozzarella and like balsamic. I probably should have added balsamic in there. It was just a little spray. But cherry tomatoes, mozzarella, flank steak, had basil. It was super, super fresh and tasting. So the flank steak was great. Had that for leftovers. And again, pre-workout with some milk and an English muffin with butter. And then my post-workout was that protein powder, which is nice. And then for Thursday, again, same breakfast, was really satiated, just had a coconut bar, chocolate bar for lunch. And then for dinner, we had New York strip steak. So David made a certain rub with that. And then I had the same salad, the cherry tomato mozzarella salad. And then pre-workout, I actually used gummy bears. Gummy bears are fantastic for a pre-workout. The biggest thing is you just don't want to eat 7 packs of them. You get 1 pack and that's like 17 grams of carbs. It's a quick sugar. You burn it off when you do your workout. Next week, I will be talking about the workout stuff that I've been doing. So the changes, so stay tuned for that. And then same old, same old. Then this night I had coffee that day, and then I made collagen protein um, coffee with decaf, and just I did go over a little bit on my calories that day, but it was just and it was I didn't really care. I wanted to hit that protein target, and I didn't mind that it was a little bit over. Usually I'm okay with you being about 100 under or 100 over ish, that range. That's okay because again, collectively I'm still in a calorie deficit. It's fine. And then the last day for the Friday was basically English muffin, milk. Friday was a little bit like thrown off on like because Macy like was not sleeping well, like she had like an allergy thing or whatever, just kind of like didn't kick off my day like normal. I didn't get a workout in this day or a walk in this day. But I had my English muffin and milk, and then some time in between. Then I had my black cherry mixed with the Fage yogurt with the protein powder. So as you can see this day, this morning, like even though these were spaced out a little bit, that was 74 grams of protein. I'm telling you, protein powder into Greek yogurt, and then some kind of additional, either a flavored yogurt to spice it up or whatever. Like it's bomb. It tastes good. You add a little bit of water in there just to kind of mix it up and get it smooth, and such a huge amount of protein, which is awesome. Then I had that leftover flank steak, raw cheddar in a tortilla wrap, and raspberries. This is when I definitely hit my fiber goals this day. And for dinner, I had actually breakfast for dinner. I had deli ham, cheddar, and eggs, and then my normal Unreal dark chocolate coconut bar and half and half or whatever. And so that one was a little bit over as well, but that was so satiating and really, really good and still within my range. So, yeah, overall, I think things are going super, super well. I think, like I said, the topic of today kind of wanted to be around, I wanted to show you a successful week for me when it comes to nutrition. And I wanted to address that body composition and dysmorphia thing, and just like how I'm using this as examples and just being transparent, but it's kind of like I can help you. I'm an expert in this. I have been studying and doing this for 8 years. And if you're starting to see, because of me sharing this, how I can help you do the same thing, please let me know. I would be happy to have a conversation with you to see if our program is the right fit for you. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and be unhappy and feel stuck and have no energy to make a decision on what to do. And I can tell you, I can help you with the energy. I can help you with the body composition goals. And I just wanted to let you know that every once in a while, want to plant the seed that I can help you do this too. And that's what coaching is all about. It's almost like this, like having this moment to express myself or talk about this experience is in a sense me coaching myself, because I'm holding myself accountable by showing up and transparently sharing, and knowing that I'm going to transparently share. It almost kind of pushes me in the back of my mind to be like, okay, show up and be consistent with this, because you've got an audience of whoever's watching this, which I appreciate so much if you are, that I want to share truly, like, here it is, here's what it's like, and we can make this work. And, like I said, taking care of your body first and eating and fueling properly is the first step. The deficit is what you earn. You earn the deficit when you get some other lifestyle behaviors in play. And if you want to know what that means, let's have a chat. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions or comments or feedback on this recap. I appreciate you watching this, whatever time of day you're watching it. And I'm just around the corner if you need anything. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.